Rest in peace to all the homies. Yeah, money was the motive. Hood couldn't hold me. 100K made man suckers looking.
Yes, sir. What's poppin'? It's the one and only Mr. Tom Brody. This is the original podcast. Cheers to the real. It's art, it's music, it's culture. Always supporting like-minded artists. New content streaming now. So yes, I have an artist, producer, engineer, Rugs. What's poppin', my brother?
What's going on?
Glad you came up, bro.
Yeah. Well, this time I'm not an artist. Now we're going to get more of the producer, engineer side of things.
I think we were just talking before we jumped on, and I had said, is being an engineer or a producer considered an art?
Yeah, it's true. It is an art.
I think it's an art.
It's one of the best arts ever.
I think...
It's the art that makes the art at this point.
Fire. So true. You get a shitty producer behind you, and then you get a shitty engineer. I don't care how amazing of a wordsmith you are, it's not going far.
Yeah.
You know? But, so yeah, let's introduce the people, bro. Again, everyone I bring up here, it is in the spirit and the essence of music. I always bring up passionate artists, which is why we've named it Cheers to the Real.
Yes.
So I bring people up here that, you know, the listener can learn something from, but we can share like-minded stories and kind of, you know, put each other on. So just give everybody a background of who you worked with, what you've done, and why you're up here, and why I find you relevant, you know?
All right. I work with you, first and foremost. Look at that. Look at that. You see this tape over here? If they can see on the camera. Lone Wolf, right? You see this? Lone Wolf. What else we got? Wolf Pack. I did all that for him.
So...
Very
talented engineer working out of Mixerhead Studios.
Yes.
I've had the privilege to, you know, work together on pretty much everything I've put out to this day. But give people a little background. Who else you worked with?
I've done a lot of work with a lot of people on both the production side of things and the engineering side of things. As far as I have a lot of unreleased stuff with people. I've done stuff with Lou Got Cash. What's it called? Mm-hmm. I've worked with True Life. Like as soon as he came home.
Yo, cheers. Cheers to that, brother.
Yeah, he's a good family friend of mine, you know. So he actually broke me into the business. You know what I'm saying? So I got to work with him very early on. I worked with Famous Dex. Troy Ave. Kid the Wiz. If you guys know about Kid the Wiz, you know all the dancing in New York and stuff like that. Waffle Gang.
Oh, no doubt.
You know, they did the John O'Clap song at the studio, so we did that. I've also done stuff with Jay Guapo, Fetty Luciano. Cheers.
Working with relevant artists.
Yeah, relevant artists and stuff like that. And then most recently, what I've done a song with Pao Fu. Pao Fu's got that song called Deathbed. That's like pretty much like all over TikTok. It's like worldwide.
I'm not too familiar with it.
I'll play a little bit of it so you know what I'm talking about or whatnot. So yeah, I co-produced a song with Pao Fu that's out. The song is called Tell Me When You Change. It's also featuring an artist that I work with too called named J-Sec and everything. But Pao Fu actually was the one to blow up right after, you know, we made that record with this record over here. This record's like all over billboards, like all over the radio. You know, all over TikTok and everything like that. So, I mean, like most recently, the most notable of what I've done work with him.
Dope.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone you've mentioned has some sort of track record, credentials. They got a nice body of work. Whether it's Luciano, I mean, True Life within itself is that's a street icon right there.
Yeah, and you know, me and True actually go back a little bit. Like I said, he's a family friend of mine. He actually helped break me into the business. So getting started, like, when you get into like engineering or producing, you gotta, you go through the school process and everything like that. I went to SAE, graduated 2015, and then like a whole year later, I was still looking for internships and stuff like that. And he pretty much got me my first internship with Fight Club Studios,
iconic.
Yeah, very iconic. So and that studio still exists today. IMI Studios just took it over and everything like that. So, I mean, like, it's still there and everything, so it makes it even better, it makes it even sweeter, you know? Yeah.
I've always said, if, for those that don't know who the artist that he's mentioned, again, everyone is super relevant.
Yeah, everybody's super relevant.
True just happens to pop up out of my brain because of the age differential.
Yeah.
He's more like in my category.
And I've also done stuff with Troy Ave too and stuff
Troy
like
Ave
that. I've also done stuff in the international level. Like with,
super underrated as an MC, Troy Ave.
Troy Ave, yeah, very underrated.
I give him credit because he happens to make, there's a certain genre that he makes that is very...
Yeah.
It's a universal listener because he makes very universal music.
Yeah, 100%. No, the thing about we were talking about Troy Ave, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Troy Ave is like in the very beginning of when I started the shit, like he was literally one of the artists I wanted to work with, like right off the bat, you know. And then like, yeah, it was a few years later breaking into it. I did a track with. I had Light come into the studio. Light's a big Greek artist and everything. I know Light through a friend of mine who's a club promoter and everything like that. My boy Angelo. So Angelo pretty much brought him in.
You said he makes what kind of music?
Greek music. It's a Greek artist. He's from Greece.
He's a Greek artist.
Yeah, his name is Light. There's Light, there's Snick, and then there's Mad Clip. They're all like big Greek artists out there. I mean, listen, I know a little bit about it because I have a lot of Greek friends. So, you know.
Greek women are beautiful, by the way.
And Greek women are beautiful indeed.
Beautiful.
So when he was here, he was doing a concert and everything. Light came in and Light was just like, all right, so who could we get into the studio, whatnot? I'm thinking on the top of my head, I'm trying to call people. Nobody.
But he's just spitting in Greek, you mean?
Like,
he's an MC. He's just
spitting. He speaks English too, though. But
Gotcha.
he came to the studio and everything. This is probably like a year and a half ago. He came to the studio and everything, and Angel was just asking me, who could we get in the studio? And then a minute later, he calls me. He's like, we're getting Troy Ave in the studio. I'm like, you're getting Troy Ave in the studio? I'm like, I haven't heard from Troy Ave in ages. That's crazy.
Mixerhead, there's a lot of artists, you know, and cheers to everyone that does know that kind of supports.
But here's the thing about Mixerhead, though, right? It's not about who's big coming in, right? We've only had those people come in like every here and there, like every couple months or whatnot. Even recently, we've had Elijah the Boy come in.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's not about those artists. It's about the artists that come to the studio like on a consistent basis, the independent artists that are coming in from the ground up. You know, that's where it matters the most. And that's where I feel like I shine in this game a little bit more too, because yeah, I can work with those people, but I could also work with the independent artists too and make everybody feel the same. You know, I appreciate the independent artists more than I mean, I'm not saying I don't appreciate them, because I do, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have the name and, you know, the credentials and stuff like that. But, you know, also having the independent artists, they come consistently. You know, even when things were bad due to COVID, they're still paying me to mix songs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, it comes from I feel like with that, when you're an independent artist, it comes from the heart more, because you really have to grind.
As it should, though. Like as it should. There needs to be a level of passion.
You really have to grind to get to where you need to be. You know what I'm saying?
And this is a message that keeps repeating itself with everyone that comes up, and you have to respect it. Is that people come up, and they all say the same thing. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, that's strike one.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're doing content based on how much money can I make off the content, I think you're playing the wrong game.
No, it's an investment. What you're doing is an investment. Just like what I did was an investment. I had to invest a lot of time. Like I said, I had an intern in the very beginning. You know what I'm saying?
And then a lot of people are not willing to intern.
And then eventually, you know, I went over to Mixerhead and stuff like that.
How was it? So going backwards, right? So this is a good foundation of conversation. You intern. You're
talking about how like engineer gets started.
No, I'm just saying, right? Like in your sense, you're saying you interned, right?
Yeah.
Did you think in the back of your brain, me interning is definitely gonna stimulate bigger growth and success, or was it more, again, based on passion? Is it based on I love this shit so much that I just gotta find a way in?
It was one of those things where, like, you know, it was just like I loved it so much, I had a passion for it, and like whatever it takes to get in, I'll get in, you know. And like I said, when True came home, he was able to get me that was cool right off the bat. And like the people that I met within that time frame, it was a whole year I was there, you know what I'm saying? All these people now are up in the game, you know?
Amen.
And like they were already like doing their thing, but like now they're up in the game. We had my boy Evan LeRae. He's a mixing engineer. He does all the Cardi B shit now. Before he was rocking out with them. He was actually working with Cardi B in the beginning too, but Cardi B wasn't like big yet. You know what I'm saying? So like he was working with her like hand in hand in the very beginning.
I've never been a Cardi fan, even though she shot. I know she shot a video in my old projects in Marlboro. But
you know what I'm saying? Like seeing him do his thing and like get up to like the Grammy stage and stuff like that.
That's motivation.
And like I'm like just learning under him and stuff like that. Like him mentoring me and stuff like that. He is my mentor at the end of the day. You know, I learned a lot through him.
Everybody needs a mentor.
And like, you know, just being with him, he would always call me whenever he needed help. I was always the first one to come in because one, I want to be around people, and two, I want to learn.
Yeah.
Most importantly, I'm there to learn. You know what I'm saying? Whenever the chance is to do a session or whatnot, you know, that's when it came to do the session. That came in like later on, but it was like one random night actually in the studio, and this was probably like 2 or 3 months in the internship, and Evan's just like, "All right, you're recording True tonight."
Wow, that's a compliment. You gotta step up to the plate. You know?
Yeah, so Evan's just like, listen, I'm recording French's brother tonight in the next room. You're recording True in this room. And I was like, fuck.
No.
I'm like, fuck.
Yo, True had it on Smash for a minute.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I was nervous as shit recording him for the first time, you know what I'm saying? Because that was the first time I'm recording anybody big, but like I already knew True and everything. Like we'd always talk and stuff like that. So like he already understood that I was learning and everything like that. Like he wasn't, he was very easy going on me and whatnot, even though he had me up all night recording it. You know what I'm saying? Like in the midst of that, he had a little something to drink or whatnot,
Of course.
But no, it was a good night. We also had Velas in the room too. Velas, he's done a lot of great things. He's worked with Kanye, he's done All Day, and even recently, even did No Guidance for Drake. So like, he was in that room producing the record. So like, it was cool, like just to like be in that space. But this was like before like everything like popped off. This is before, True had the song with Future. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, so it was just really cool to be in that space. You know what I'm saying?
I had the opportunity to meet him once on just Cypher mode with mutual people. Always thought
I'm gonna try to get him on this podcast with you.
Absolutely.
I think that'll be cool, honestly.
I always thought I knew the pain because as a Spanish artist, more so you always have a mark on you. I always felt like when you're a Latin artist, you're in a weird ground.
Yeah.
Because you are urban in the sense of you're growing in the same places as your black counterparts, but you're walking a fine line. You know? And again, a lot of people presume because you're Spanish, you should be doing these like crazy Latin beats or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta break the mold, man.
No, 100%.
But so you worked with him and you also work with Famous Dex.
Yeah, so Famous Dex was later on down the line. So like once I got into Mixerhead and stuff like that, like now I had a studio I could run like full time and like actually have a spot. Cause like when you're an engineer producer, you need a home spot. Whether it's your actual home or like your home away from home.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You need a spot where people can come fuck with you.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Book sessions, you know what I'm saying? Just and vibe out and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was given that, but we didn't do the record over at Mixerhead actually. We did the record over in I think it was I forgot the studio's name.
It's because of you I started checking and listening to the music. I didn't even know who he was until
Famous Dex.
Yeah, no, I mean rocking and you
Dex is more like if you're into that Rich Forever type thing.
He's from Chicago.
Chicago, but like he doesn't make Chicago type music. He's more of like a Rich. He's under Rich the Kid. So like
I would have thought he's from Miami or Florida, so to speak.
So yeah, long story short, I mean, I don't know how it worked. I guess somebody got in touch with his manager and just said, he's got some beats or whatnot, and also there's one of his artists needs a feature. So we just pretty much went over there and we did the record. I literally like went into the room, put my beat into the computer, and Dex just freestyled the whole thing. And then like months later, the record was leaked on SoundCloud. So I mean, it's on SoundCloud if people want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a record that like went off or anything like that, but it was pretty
content.
Cool. It's just content. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's
100%.
dope. That's dope. You still maintain, I'm just curious, do you still maintain relationships with prior artists?
Yes and no. It all depends. You know what I'm saying? Do I keep their contacts and stuff like that? Yes, I have their emails and everything like that, and like I'll hit up their management every once in a while when they're looking for new stuff, but I'm not chasing it.
Right.
Like I said, because that's not what I'm chasing at the end of the day. In the very beginning of the stage, like the producers and engineers in the beginning, they want to chase placements, right? Or bigger artists. They think like, oh, that's the way out. That's not the way out. What is the way out is building with an independent artist from the ground up and going from top to bottom. Like, for example, J-Sec, right? He's an artist that I worked with in the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? And
I've heard you mention this.
Yeah, I mean, like, he does good online. You know what I'm saying? He's not famous by any means necessary.
Where's he from?
He's from Long Island.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not famous by any means necessary, but he does have a following on social media. He does have a following online. He's very
Long Island.
He's very underground. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you look into the sad boy music and stuff like that, like he's in that category. If you like go on a playlist on Spotify and you shuffle it, he's gonna pop up. And he also has a song with Pal Fu, who is part of that genre and is now really big. And like when you go into Pal Fu's catalog, he's there. He's right next to him. You know what I'm saying? So getting to see him from the ground up, like literally when he was on SoundCloud barely doing numbers to now on Spotify, he's breaking like 2 to 3 million each song. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a good learning lesson for artists that are listening.
And he's not. And here's the thing: like I said, he's still an independent artist at the end of the day. But at least he's able to make money doing what he does. He could sell merch if he wants. Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers. Cheers
You don't
to all the
necessarily have to
artists.
be famous to make it.
Again,
Yeah.
the foundation of this show is to have drinks
Yeah.
and really vibe with my people that I know are making 9 to 5 money based on their craft.
Mhm.
I salute that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you go against the grain and you say I'm gonna put all my chips in based on my talent, that's commendable.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
And I was just on the phone with Jay the other day. We talk a lot. I mean, right now, like since like the quarantine and stuff like that, like he's been in the house making a lot of records, but you know, he's been telling me now like he's trying to approach his music a little differently now. Cause now like he's also learned being in the studio with me and stuff like that too, and like being in the studio with other people. Like he taught himself how to produce recently and like engineer his own stuff. So like yeah, now he's like
being self-sufficient.
Oh, now he's like breaking more into that. He's like really that independent artist, not just being an artist. He's independent as well. You know.
Would you recommend someone who's listening, any artist? Let's just say they're listening. They're kind of vibing what we're saying. Would you recommend just artists itself learning all fortes of the craft?
I think they should
focus on one thing.
No, they should focus on one thing in the very beginning. Like if they're lacking in a certain skill, like if you're a rapper, yes, of course, you got to make sure your lyrics are fire. You got to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, that your recording level is good and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to make sure you're consistently making music, but it doesn't hurt to dabble in other fields of the music game as well. You know what I'm saying? If you want to learn how to record, if you know, you can't afford studio time, but you could build your own studio in your house. It doesn't hurt to learn to record yourself and learn like Pro Tools or Logic and stuff like that. You know, how to engineer yourself and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't hurt to learn to make your own beats because at least you know what you want and what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
I know. I just saw a video with Russ. He was just saying something similar.
I was just gonna bring that up. So like J-Sec right now is kind of on that Russ type of thing.
That's dope.
That's where he's at right now. You know what I'm saying? And he said like as soon as the year starts, which it is now 2021, he's gonna be releasing music on a weekly, consistent basis. He's trying to get on that Russ thing now. In the beginning, it was like he released a song like every couple months. Now, you know, that's over with.
I know.
I tell artists all the time that come to the studio, you need to release music often.
Yeah.
Don't focus on one project because the way the music game is now, it's not. Yeah, projects are cool and everything like that, but it's really a singles game.
Yeah.
So
well, you used to kill me with this too. You were like, Brody, you're putting out a fucking mountain of a body of work. Just keep smashing singles.
Yeah, I mean,
so there was an argument with people because I guess again there is that generational thing where I always felt like it's so dope if you could just smash them with projects. But I guess the consumer is so used to having not only watered down music, but they're used to a minimal that you could get away with doing these EPs. 3 songs, 4 songs.
You really
3
can't.
songs, 4 songs. But again, there's so many artists and there's so much rubbish that you have to dig through to get to the good shit.
I mean, even now in the midst of the pandemic and everything like that, because right now there's no live performances.
Right.
You know, a big artist would put out an album and just go on tour with that album, or put out a big single, go on tour, and then drop the album, you know, vice versa or whatnot. But now there's really nowhere to perform. I mean, unless in Florida, because Florida don't give a fuck.
Florida's wilding out.
They
Yo,
don't
shout out to Florida, because I'm bugging out how all my native Brooklynites, a lot of these, they move to Florida, they keep killing me on my timeline, they're chilling at the fucking beach, they're chilling, having a fucking drink. Shout them out. But do you I got a good question for you. So do you feel when you listen to older music in the sense of hip hop, what do you think of? Or who would you put in that paradigm when you're a younger version of yourself? Okay. Right? And you're going backwards.
What
would be your, I want to even take it deeper. What would be your old school?
Can I give you top 5?
Oh shit.
There you go.
You going right into it?
We're going right into it. Ready?
Blood, fire.
Ready?
Right into it.
Biggie.
Oh.
Tupac. Eminem.
Okay.
Eminem. Shit. Now you got me.
Yo, Scott, can I get a brewski, brother?
Biggie, Tupac, Eminem. Let's see. I have it. Snoop Dogg.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna jot that down. Hold on. So we're going 5.
We're going with 5.
We're going 5.
Actually, no. I'm taking Snoop Dogg out. I'm sorry, Snoop, but you're not my top 5.
You're the best. Thank you.
Listen, you want to diss Eminem? You want to diss my idol? So there's Biggie, Tupac,
Biggie number 1,
Eminem, right? Biggie's always gonna be number one to
'cause
me. I grew up on Biggie in the womb. Like I was listening to Biggie in the womb. My mom loved Biggie, and even after Biggie's death, my mom was
Well,
constantly.
you're in your
blasting
20s, so when Biggie was really popping,
Yeah,
right?
Biggie died when I was like
You're
2
like a
years
young
old,
lad.
right? He had to be. I had to be. I was born '95. I had to be like at least 2 or like almost 2 years old when he died. But my mom was always blasting Biggie with me growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's fucking awesome.
And like when I think about like rap and stuff like that, I think about the bad. Oh, Nas. There you go. I love Nas.
But again, everyone, it's hard when you talk to people in the industry, like, fuck the industry. When you just talk to people general and you mention name your top 5, I have a difficulty because there is a generational thing.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it would be hard for me to say top 5 with you per se because of the age difference we have, right?
Yeah.
So obviously anyone who grew up in the 80s or early 90s that came up as a teenager, there's no way they're not going to be mentioning Rakim.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Rakim's amazing though. At the same time, you know. One thing about Rakim that Rakim was doing back in the day was exposing the industry right off the bat. You know,
it's the whole foundation of like religion. He had that movement behind him. He had the knowledge.
But he had knowledge. He was still groovy and shit like that. But
different times though. Artists weren't making what they're making now.
No, because you got to understand something, right? Like I said, now let's get back to the conversation before we mentioned Florida, right? So that's top 5, and also like I'm big on the bad boy era too. You know what I'm saying? But not just like Junior Mafia.
That's when New York had it.
Like Diddy's, like Puff Daddy shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, he's not. Everybody says he's not a rapper like that, but I enjoy some of his music. You know what I'm saying? Like especially growing up. You know what I'm saying? Lil' Kim. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
Kim, hold on. I'll be honest with you. Now that I look at it,
I
think Kim. Yo, shout out to Little Kim. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out the whole mob out there. But I think Little Kim set the bar.
Yeah.
For all the Little Kim clones that you see
100%
running around right now.
Like Little Kim, like listen, there's Bad Boy and then there's Terror Squad. You know what I'm saying? You have Little Kim for Bad Boy, and then you have Remy Ma when it comes to like Terror Squad and stuff like that. But honestly, I'm gonna have to choose Bad Boy, and I'm gonna have to choose Little Kim over them any day of the week. Remy could spit, but nah, she's kind of weak to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you? This is gonna be a funny question for you, but we're talking.
Come on, she has a fucking line. I'm making baked chicken. Like, I can't take her serious. I'm sorry. It's Thanksgiving. I'm making baked chicken.
Do female MCs get put in the same category as men? So are the counterparts? Can we all do a top 5 or a top 10? And would you hear someone mention and say, "Oh, it's MC Light," or it's like are we in the same game, or is there a women's league?
Okay, yes, there is a women's league actually. But if we're talking about overall, yeah, they should be a top 5 where women are included too. But like the way the game is set up, obviously.
MC Light, shout out to MC Light. I think MC Light, Lauryn Hill are top tier artists as far as the culture of what they've given. You know,
Lauryn Hill's more of an artist.
They don't get mentioned. I don't know.
They don't get mentioned. No, Lauryn Hill's more of an artist. You know, and then I don't know what the whole industry thing about Lauryn Hill is. You know what I'm saying? I know nothing about that. I can't speak on that. Yeah. Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like
taxes and shit.
Whatever it is, she deserves all the credit in the world. But nowadays, like we said, we'll go back to the conversation we're having, right, with the whole pandemic and stuff like that. Like, why the game is so flooded. Like, the game was already working towards being flooded before, because now every independent artists too, they can get on Spotify, Apple Music, just going through
the access is there.
The access is there 110%.
For any Joe Schmo with minimal talent, the access is there.
You know, the access is there 100%, right? So now that's there, and you know that's been going on for a while and stuff like that. There's access to studio time. Like you could literally like book your own studio time with your own money. You can also push your own money on push your own music on DistroKid and TuneCore and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? With all the platforms. So like, and then the SoundCloud era too. You know what I'm saying? You forget about the SoundCloud era too. Like SoundCloud era is where it started. You know what I'm saying? Like 2016, 2017, right? And even a little before that too. Like the SoundCloud era, like all the little pumps and stuff like that, they came up in that era. You know what I'm saying? And then we fast forward now, people are getting their music on Spotify, Apple Music. Now it's just flooding up. And now with the pandemic happening, there's no live performances. So now on top of that, people have to release music literally every week. Every week just to make sure that there's content coming out because there's no other way of making money. now you can make money through Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that.
Why not have? And this is something I was thinking out of the box. I mentioned this to Dave the other day. Why aren't artists taking advantage of doing live performances when you have live Facebook,
No, they
live
also,
IG,
no, they do that
live?
already. I mean,
I think
Tory Lanez did a whole live performance. But
yeah.
like, where is
So I heard. I'm not a.
but where's the money coming from? That's the thing. You make money off the ticket sales. You want to do
money on the
like,
ads coming back in.
Like I know like Rolling Loud did some shit where like they did like a virtual thing or whatnot, but like what's the enjoyment of that? What I enjoy going to a concert and seeing the artist live in person. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. I mean, yeah, it's cool. There's a video footage or whatnot. You can get to see it, but you're not physically there. You're literally watching it through a video.
Yo, the genie's out of the bag. Like, how do you? That's the shit. Like, there were artists that were able, who probably are like very much of my ilk and with some same cloth, that you probably have a nice lane of people supporting you, but now you're not touring.
Yeah,
because that hurt me personally as an artist, right? So now
it hurt a lot of people.
Instead of me booking my own galleries and my own spaces where I could bring in my own 200-300 people, now I'm like,
But guess what industry is not being hurt because of it? The recording industry, the studio industry is not being hurt because straight out of quarantine, everybody wanted to get into the studio right away.
Right.
And we were busy up until like the fall or whatnot. And we're probably going to get busy again, you know, because the constant need for content, that's what I'm bringing it back to. The constant need for content, the constant need for music is always going to be there no matter what. It just sucks because a lot of good music is going under the radar now because there's so much good and bad music coming out at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Eminem just put out a B-side for his album and I barely even knew it took place. You know what I'm saying? That kid, Jay Guapo, we mentioned before, he has a song with Lil Wayne, I believe, right? Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, he had a song with Lil Wayne and Ferg, you know what I'm saying? I didn't find out about till like 2 weeks later, you know what I'm saying? That's because there's so much music coming out at once. And you know Drake's probably putting out an album soon.
I saw an article how Wayne felt like how a lot of these MCs are kind of cloning him now. Like he's the archetype of that, you know, alleged rock star look with the locks and his dyed and the, you know what I mean?
Oh shit. So I'm constantly on TikTok.
Yeah. So funny thing. So let's just jump right into that too. So tell the people something you've been doing with TikTok.
Okay, so long story short, like we mentioned before, like what I've done in music so far, like it's cool and everything, and I'm more, like I said, I'm more focused on the independent artists at the end of the day. At the end of the day, they're the ones that are like literally feeding me at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? The industry is cool and everything like that, but when you really get down to it, you really got to build with the independent artists. And so I figured that I need to show myself more as a brand, you know what I'm saying? Not only I'm behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? But everybody always tells me that I got a personality, I'm funny, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, all right, whatever. There's this platform, TikTok, that exists. Everybody's on it at this point. So I figured that I start getting my content on TikTok, whether it's behind the scenes footage or just like stupid like comedy skits that people can relate to. The name of the series that I have now on TikTok is called Dealing with Annoying Rappers in the Studio. And I feel like it's just very relatable at the end of the day.
Super relatable.
Like even when I was in
hilarious.
quarantine, like I had to sit there and think about ways to get my brand out more, you know what I'm saying? I do have a show on the way. I've only done a little bit of filming so far, but I'm probably going to film more this year. Now that TikTok is there, because here's the thing about TikTok, you can post a video for like 15 seconds to 60 seconds, you know what I'm saying? And it's straight to the point. Nowadays, people just want content, and a lot, you know, songs nowadays are shorter. Even videos are shorter nowadays. So you got to give them the content right away, and it's got to hit right away. So I figured I'd start this series, dealing with annoying rappers in the studio. I was in the studio with one of the artists. I'm like, yo, let's make a TikTok. And he has a little bit of a following on TikTok too. So we make a TikTok and everything. He's like, okay, we're going to do this thing where we talk about what does this knob do, right? The knob does nothing, but it's the whole point of the joke.
Right.
And then I post on Instagram. All my engineer friends and my producer friends are laughing about it because it's at the end of the day, it's very
super hilarious.
It's hilarious. You know, all the songwriters are liking it. You know what I'm saying? And right now, one of the videos is almost at 400K. You know what I'm saying? And we have another video that just hit 100K, you know? The one video where somebody touches my equipment, you know? Shout out to LXD. He's an independent artist. He comes to the studio literally like on a weekly basis.
Yo, that
and he
shit had
actually
me
came up with
crying,
the
son.
idea himself because we were actually in a session. He kept touching it. I'm like, bro, please stop touching my board. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna touch it again. We'll get this on video and show me how you react. And so, boom, we did it like that. Yeah, it's an act at the end of the day, it's a skit, but it's also a little bit real too. You know,
It's beyond relatable. Because there are artists who go in and they may be more on the immature end or less seasoned.
Because listen, when you're running a recording studio 24, like it's a 24/7 operation, it's open to literally anybody that wants to come in and make. Literally anybody can come, whether they're good or bad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just showing you my side of things. You know what I'm saying? What I have to go through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always going to be that annoying rapper that comes to the studio, whether they're late to the studio, whether they're asking stupid questions.
That was the one. So he has an artist who runs in, and this is the funniest thing because
let's play it real quick. Better yet, when somebody interrupts your session too while it's taking place, these are the things that people don't really see behind the scenes.
Late is the
they only know that people are in the studio to make the music, and then they hear the music later on. They don't hear what goes on.
There are
behind
technicalities,
the scenes.
of course.
So like with this video right over here.
This is fucking insane. I'm tired of this fucking shit.
Yo, my bad, man. I'm sorry, man. What's going on?
Wait, hold up, pause.
What? I ain't seen it, no.
It doesn't matter. The session started at 6 o'clock. It's a 2-hour session. It's 8 o'clock now.
Yo, but I'm ready. I got some verses, bro.
Doesn't matter, you're late, and I gotta get going, buddy.
Come on, man. Seriously?
Listen.
I'll pay you good money.
Doesn't matter. You can book tomorrow. I gotta head to another session now in the city, bro.
I mean,
He said, but I got the money. Yo, that's classic.
Oh no. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to studio time, I take deposits before the sessions. I don't like hearing bullshit. It's not a comfortable thing.
Yeah, we've spoken about that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, and again, to bring that conversation 360. The moral of the story is, if you're an artist and you take your craft serious, you're not running at the studio at the last minute. I mean, of course, even with work, there are things that pop up. You're a little late, but I guess when you hold yourself to a certain esteem and you got the bar is high, you're running late. You give someone a shout out, a text, hey man, listen, I'm running 15 minutes late.
Yeah,
you know, I'm definitely
100%.
coming to the studio. Just hold down my spot. Because again, this is a business, man. It's no different than the sports business. This is a business. You come to work, put your jersey on, score a touchdown, keep it moving. You know,
100%. And that's the problem nowadays. You know, like everybody's like, oh, I have a dream. Oh, this, that, and the third. But like, listen, at the end of the day, this is a business. At the end of the day, you want to be famous. You want to get into the music industry. This is a business. At the end of the day, you got to treat it as such.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, this is an investment. So you also got to treat it as such. By the way, I don't think my client's coming in, so we can keep ranting and shit.
all right. Hey, that's what's up.
No. I never took a deposit on that session. It was more like a last minute thing. Like I said, it's the same kid that was on the video. I just said, if you want to come at 2, you can come at 2. If you don't, it's no big deal.
What are some of the because you've been doing this for a minute, and as he said, I've actually worked with you also. But what are some of the learning blocks for an artist to listen to? Right. Let's kind of let's figure that out. What are a few of the things that an artist can do to prepare himself so when he goes to the studio, you're not wasting your time or money, right?
Yeah. So
what are some of the things you saw?
One thing that I noticed about artists, they either come prepared, like they'll have the beats ready to go, or like they'll cop a beat off me because I also produce as well. I sell beats on, you know what I'm saying, on BeatStars and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I don't, you know. Right. So they'll have the beat ready to go.
So rule number 1, have your beat ready to go, boss.
Have your beat ready to go. It's some people just come to the studio and just be like, I'm just gonna load up a YouTube beat and I'm a freestyle. And but sometimes it works for that person.
Right.
Sometimes they're like, they just know what they want to do. They know what they want to do.
Like, Moses, have your beat ready.
You ready? I want this type of beat. And I'm going to go in that studio. But everybody's process is different, you know?
That's true.
If you're going to here's my thing, right? If you're going to come to the studio not prepared and you're going to complain that you got nothing done, well, you didn't come prepared to the studio. So don't fucking take it out on me. I'm just doing my job.
You get a lot of those guys that come in that just smoke weed and they're just wasting time. And you see it,
time.
But you don't say anything. It's like, I'm getting paid.
I mean, I'm getting paid. But at the end of the day, like, it's what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is different at the end of the day. Like, shout out to DR, by the way. He's an artist that comes to the studio and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna get too much in details of how he works, but he has bars ready to go, but he doesn't necessarily, like, he'll have a beat in mind. He'll have a few beats in mind. But then, like, sometimes I'll hit him off the bat and be like, okay, you need to do a Spanish song today. He'd be like, all right, fuck it, I'm doing a Spanish song. He's very versatile like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get him into, like, the versatile mode, you know what I'm saying, of being an artist. Like, he'll come in with a gangster record. I'm be like, no.
That's not it.
We could do that. if you're ready for that, that's cool. But we'll do that after because that's easy. Let's do a hard record first. Like sometimes I like to challenge them, and he's all with it. You know what I'm saying? Like we load up a beat on YouTube. I didn't have any reggaeton beats. So we went on YouTube and we found like a daddy. He's like, let's do like a Daddy Yankee, like Anuel type beat. You know what I'm saying? You load that up. He already has the hook ready to go because he already knows what he wants to hear. He does the hook, comes down from the booth, and then writes the verse. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's process is different at the end of the day. Some people like to work, but you also need a lot of hours to work if you're gonna do that. Like if you expect to come in for a 2-hour session, right? And you come not prepared and you expect everything. Like yesterday, listen, I'm not going to mention the artist's name, but I had this one artist that came to the studio. He also brought another artist to the studio as well. They did a 2-hour session. I was under the impression they were doing a 3-hour session. They wanted They wanted to get 3. They were prepared, but they wanted to get 3 songs done, right, within that 2-hour frame and everything like that. And it's 2 artists. And during the midst of it, the one guy records and everything, and the other guy's trying to correct him and trying to be like, you're offbeat. He's like, bro, don't interrupt my process when I'm in the booth. He's like, everything you want to tell me, you can tell me afterwards. And I'm just like sitting there like I'm like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, yeah, they got done what they got to get done. He knows he's got to come back and get the songs mixed anyways, but he got most of the recording done. And then when his buddy was in the booth, he's kind of like, oh, don't re-record that again. Like, why are you rushing 2 songs in the 2-hour?
See, I think that's the side of the industry and being who you are.
Yeah, but I also told him as well because he's a good client of mine. Like he's also a very nice guy. At the end of the day, I told him straight up. I said, listen, your problem is that you come to the studio once every 2 or 3 months, expecting to get shit done, and then you rush a release. I'm not saying that the songs are bad, but they could be better. You know what I'm saying? Like his voice is very good. He's very talented, but that doesn't mean shit if you're talented. When you come into the studio, you got to get the best recording and the best version of the song possible.
Facts.
Right? Because because that is going to be the version that people remember. Right. Unless somehow you perform live and it's like that, you go crazy live. You know what I'm saying? Like some people do, but like that's the best version. That's the version that people are going to remember. Your hook's got to be catchy. It's got to be on point. Because that's what people are going to remember. Nobody should have to listen to a song and say it's all right and then try to get used to it. That's not how it works nowadays. There's so much music out nowadays. So if you come in and you record music...
There's way too much music right now.
So listen, if you're going to put out a song, that shit's got to be fire from the first 10 seconds to the last 10 seconds.
Do me a favor. Don't even rap. Just stick to the books.
Whatever it is, whether you're singing, rapping, you're doing the auto-tune thing, whatever it is, bro, it's got to hit. It's got to hit right away. And if it doesn't hit, it's going to go skipped. People are going to go, all right, skipping that. Or next song. Nobody cares how talented you are at the end of the day. You got to make good music, no matter what it is. And you cannot rush the process. You can't rush me either. I hate when I get shit for like, oh, I didn't get anything done. I had a guy do an 8-hour session once, and he tried doing like a 15-tape mixtape or whatnot. And he complained at the end of the day that he didn't get anything done.
15 tracks in 3 hours?
No, 8 hours.
On an hour,
well, like,
do 15 tracks.
I mean, I don't know if he wanted everything like mix and mastered or whatnot.
He just wanted to lay him down. Probably.
I know, but like, but then he's also like wasting time, like, and then he got into a conversation with me. Like, listen, I'm gonna entertain the conversation
in 8 hours. There's gonna be leeway. There's no way you're doing fucking even.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? A lot
quality songs.
Yeah. No, they came out all right, but he was like doing a lot of one takes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and, yeah, and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not shitting on him because he has a different. Like I said, his process is different.
Right.
He's satisfied with just recording and doing his doubles, doing his ad libs. He's very old school. You know what I'm saying? Like he's very old school. He's not the take by take type of person. He will never do that. But then there's artists that come in that do line by line. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I prefer that process way better because you could perfect every line that you do. Or you do multiple takes of the same thing and we pick the best takes out of it, like how you work, you know what I'm saying? Right. You come into the studio, you're very like, yeah, you're very cautious with the time and everything like that, but also like, you know what you want to get done. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you come in with a plan. We're going to do this.
Broski comes with a plan.
Broski comes with a plan, you know what I'm saying? So you come in, okay, cool, we're going to record this song. But we're going to focus on the mixing today, or we're going to focus on getting the track list in order.
Yeah.
And dumping it into this drive and that drive.
Yeah, you got to. Yo, shout out Shout out to all the crazy potheads and alcoholics that manage to walk out with content. Because sometimes,
there's people that come drunk,
you could just go
perked out, and they make some fire shit. I don't know how the fuck they do it, but they make some fire shit, and it comes out so fire. And we have a lot of time to do a lot of things because
they're just in the moment.
They're just in the vibe. Like, drugs is not my vice. I don't do drugs. But you know what? This is why dealing with the annoying rappers series is gonna keep building on TikTok, and it's gonna keep growing because y'all are just annoying as shit sometimes. But you know what? Maybe I should showcase the good rappers in the studio too. So it's not gonna be necessarily a comedy thing. It's gonna be like more like a behind the scenes type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And then also I'm gonna start posting like mixing tutorials and like videos of me making beats live.
Mixing tutorials would be dope for you. That's dope.
Yeah, no, I had some people.
All right. I think the mixing, that's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good lane that people would gravitate to because they're all, hey, if you could teach me something in a 20-minute span, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah,
man.
100%.
So I wanna keep it hip hop because this is what it is.
Chicka.
It is Cheers to the Real, but I want to go back to that top 5, right? So we were saying Biggie, right? We said Eminem. We said
Nas, Tupac.
We said Nas and Pac. So who's in that 5th slot?
That's a good one.
That's a good one, right?
That is a good one.
All right, so
we're talking about old school, right?
No, not necessarily.
Can I also give you my new school as well? Because that's the old school one.
That's a beautiful thing because there's gonna be artists and people listening to the show who might be more in my genre. So I want tune them into artists that they need or should be watching out for, because I know you got your ears to the street. So name a few artists who are actually grinding, talented, up and coming.
Up and coming. You're talking about like in the industry now?
Yeah,
or
just
like,
people up and coming.
I mean, listen, I'll give it to you like this, right? So I have that. I really don't have like, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Actually, no. I'm sorry. Jay-Z. Boom.
Jay?
So Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, Eminem.
A few episodes back, everyone thought I was bananas when I said Jay-Z is not on my top 5.
I mean, listen, that's your opinion at the end of the day.
It's just not on my.
Your opinion.
Not on my top 5.
I don't judge you.
I think he's amazing, but I think a lot of there's a lot of respect based on his business.
Yeah, but I'll give you like my current top 5 is like a lot of people that's dead already, because that's the shitty part.
Yeah.
That's the shitty part. So I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Hip hop, especially like last year, 2020, hip hop put a bad taste in my mouth because a lot of these rappers are dying either due to gun violence or drugs. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I'm gonna give you a top 5, it's like XXXTentacion's on that list.
Nice.
Pop Smoke is on that list.
Nice.
Little Peep is on that list.
Pop. So, but Pop, even with the lack of body of music, you'll still put him on.
Well, no, Pop Smoke does have a body of music. It's just that body of music didn't come out until he died.
So let's just say he's 2 albums in.
Okay, no. He had a tape in the beginning, and then he came out with another tape.
Right.
Meet the Woo. There's Volume 1, Volume 2,
Right.
and then the tape that was supposed to come out before he died, that they were working on, that came out, and they also had a B-side as well. He has a lot of music,
right?
But it's just sad because he's not physically alive to see that. Like his music is buzzing up all over TikTok, all over social media. It's getting millions upon millions of plays, and he's not alive to see that. That was the same situation with X. You know what I'm saying? X had a lot of body of music, but also X also had bodies of music after he died. Juice WRLD's another one.
No, yeah.
Juice WRLD had a lot of music in the stash, and then he just died.
He did have a lot of music.
And another one, King Von. King Von's up and coming, but he had so much.
I will admit, and I'm hate to say this, but this is just fact. Because a lot of the live feeds that go on, you kind of get hip to certain artists, but unfortunately, negative components tend to trend. So I happened to get put onto him before he passed, and I will say, regardless of that, the beef shit, because I don't consider that beef shit real hip hop. I think it's rubbish. That's more street shit.
Yeah.
I do think he was talented.
No, 100%. He was very talented.
He was talented.
Yeah, he came up very like softly in his interviews, but like it was very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? It's just from
he made good music, man. I got to admit.
It's just really hard to get behind a rapper nowadays. But if I'm gonna tell you like alive rappers that are out now who I fuck with top 5, now I'm gonna give you that. Okay, we have J.I., the Prince of New York.
J.I. records in Mixerhead too, right?
No. He wasn't recording in Mixerhead necessarily, but he was recording downstairs in Shweezy's spot. Shweezy is an artist that I also work with as well, another independent
Yo, Steve,
artist.
can I harass you for another brewski?
Brewski!
You want the brew?
I'll take a little bit of that.
No, this one's done.
There's a little something in there.
Nah.
There you go. I'll take the ends.
All right.
There you go.
No, but you don't like. All right.
I don't like Budweiser.
All right.
I'm not really a beer drinker. I don't like. Here's the thing about me. I don't drink. I don't really smoke like that either. So like I'm
Amen.
sober 110% of the time.
Amen.
So this is where the annoying rapper series comes from. Because think of it like a sober engineer, producer in the studio and stuff like that.
What percentage would you say of rappers coming to the studio that are sober? Don't drink, don't smoke.
25% or maybe 50. It depends. Everybody's
50%?
No, nowadays in my studio,
In
my studio is 50%. But
that is nice.
yeah, but if we're talking about,
Shout out to all the sober rappers that come in and manage to rock out.
I don't know if they smoked beforehand. I don't know. We don't allow smoking in the room, so when you come into the studio, it's a clear space.
Do you get artists that are like fucked up, like you killed my mojo? Like I can't smoke in the booth or in the room.
Yeah, but they
just
just don't come to the studio. Like, yeah, I got that complaints before. I had Fabio Foreign's like crew in the studio. They came packed and they were tight that they couldn't smoke in the studio. But they also understood too. They're like, oh shit, you're really running an official business. They're like, okay, whatever, we get it. You know what I'm saying? But like at the same time, it's like that's not the place. If you want to go to Quad Studio at the end of the day and destroy their equipment. Don't destroy our equipment. We're a local studio. We're a smaller studio. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they make enough money to replace their speakers and replace all their shit. But then sometimes you go into these bigger studios, not to shit on any of them because I'm not going to mention any names. I went to a bigger studio where like a lot of big artists record.
Let me give you some. You'll like it. Come on.
Like it? I don't like Budweiser.
You were going to like it now. I'm telling you, son.
I just don't like the smell of it.
Nah, don't hate,
all right.
bro.
Well, long story short, I went to a bigger studio to record somebody. I was recording HBK. He's an artist that comes to my studio. And he even said, it's like Mixerhead is, I like going to Mixerhead way better than here. Mm-hmm. He's like, I just spent hundreds of dollars to record here. And their speakers are busted. The microphone is shit. And you would think like all the big rappers record there. You know what I'm saying? It's the smaller studios that are winning at the end of the day. We also got a small studio in the Bronx, Plug Studios. Shout out to them. They've done shit with like A Boogie and stuff like that. They're not a big studio, but they got quality stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they make good.
It's not.
And they make amazing music in there, bro. They're not a quad studio, but they also have like room. They have like a lot of rooms in there, obviously, but like they have like. You know what I'm saying? Like they have quality and they're considered a small studio, but they're a big studio. But like, you know, that's how I look at them as that. You know what I'm saying? So
not
like
what you have.
Personally, I feel like the smaller studios at the end of the day are winning at the end of the day. A lot of these big studios are closing down because one, they don't have the money to run because they're probably not getting paid through these label budgets and stuff like that. Or they're probably only dependent on label budgets at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you got to go the independent route and you got to go with the smaller studios.
Indie's the way to go, my friend.
Yeah.
It's the only fucking way to go.
Like,
Stop playing.
Even seeing like other studios like IMI Studios, like they're a small studio to begin with, but like now they're a big studio because
big,
they're a big studio now because now like the whole city went over there. You know what I'm saying? Like they built other rooms in there and stuff like that, and they even expanded the Fight Club, which I was fucking so proud because that's my home. That's where I started. You know, like at least to know that that's still there. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. Like those are the spots, you know what I'm saying? Those are like the comfortable spots you need to get into, you know, at the end of the day. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk shit about other studios because it's not my place to, and I don't want to like you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to fuck myself over with that, but that's the truth. That's how I look at it. It's not to brag either, you know. The smaller studios are winning at the end of the day, and they are doing bigger things at the end of the day.
Listen, it's not. I'm a firm believer as an artist. You could have, bro. Honestly, you could have all the top-notch shit, right? But if you don't know how to freak it and you don't know how to kind of finesse it, it's not relevant. You know,
and, soon we're probably gonna update our equipment too. You know what I'm saying? Just to like give in that to not only like give a new sound. Well, no, we're gonna still have that sound, that comfort. You know what I'm saying? But also bring in more of like it has that warmth. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love the. So at Mixerhead, just at this particular booth that I record with him, the mics are actually upstairs, so you got to use the ladder to go up.
You got to use the ladder to go up in the studio and everything like that. The way it's built, Dave built the whole thing. So
shout out to Dave. Yo, Dave, I always say how I'm shocked. There's not more people that kill themselves walking down the steps after recording. You know what I mean? It's the funniest shit.
No.
So yo, I want to blast off into
the only person that tripped was Troy Ave.
Listen, it's Dave,
and he said he was gonna fight. He said he was gonna fight the ladder. He's like, man, I'm gonna fight the ladder.
Listen, dangerous. Yo, so I wanna tail off into a conversation with you. I'm gonna mention a handful of artists that I feel are underrated. You let me know if you think they're dope, they're not, nay or yay, hot or not, kind of where I want to gauge you. You know what I mean? MF Doom, rest in peace, MF Doom. MF Doom.
I never really listened to his music. I mean, rest in peace to him, but I never really listened to his music.
Got you. Listen,
I'm not gonna say hot or not. I'm just not gonna say I don't listen.
I would urge you, MF Doom, especially for a lot of like-minded people that's in my genre. We kind of worship this dude, man, because he is the embodiment of like an independent artist, man.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? He supported the graph culture, the b-boy culture. He was just when you think of a real New York underground artist, MF Doom all the way, man.
Yeah.
Tragedy.
I never listened to him.
Never listened to Tragedy.
No.
All right. Another one I urge you to listen to. And again,
Wait,
listeners.
hold up. We're talking about producers, right? Why don't we go producers?
You want to go
instead?
producers?
Let's do producers.
All right.
That's more comfortable for me.
Beautiful. Let's switch it up to producers.
You're talking to a producer.
All right.
We're talking to an engineer.
All right. We're gonna start tailing off. So we're gonna mention. Here we go. Switch up conversations, there, listeners. Let's go into our top 5 favorite producers.
There we are.
Okay.
Top 5 favorite producers of all time. Let's see. Dr. Dre.
Dre's up there. Yo, Dre. Definitely prayers up.
Yes.
Hope everything is good. I don't need to see another legend not knocked off,
Scott Storch.
Talented as fuck.
Pharrell.
Talented as fuck.
And then we have Metro Boomin. You can't go without him. He's more modern, but he's one of the best producers nowadays, in my opinion.
Okay. I thought you were going to mention Kanye or something.
Well, last but not least, Kanye West.
You got to put Kanye up there, son.
I mean, that's what I was about to get to, bro.
I know people don't like the theatrics from him, but I can't knock a man's talent, son. I can't knock a man's talent.
It's just that but like if we're gonna dive deeper into like a
what about Pete Rock? Like Pete Rock?
Yes and no. That's more like back in the day. But I'm gonna tell you now, there's top 5, but then there's top 10. I can continue.
Oh shit!
I can continue.
Just drop them. There's a lot of talented producers, but drop them.
Murder Beats.
Murder Beats is dope.
Murder Beats is fire.
He's fire.
He is fire, and he's more new now. 808 Mellow.
808 Mellow.
808 Mellow.
Heard
about him is just like when you think about like drill from the UK and stuff like that, and like Pop Smoke's music, but like that shit's been going on for like a long time.
Yeah, he has a
much
dark
longer,
sound.
much longer than fucking Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying? I say 808 Mellow. You know what I'm saying? Like he's up there. You know. So we got what do we got so far? We had Murder Beats, 808 Mellow.
Murder Mellow. Yeah.
Who else? Shit. I'm gonna three more.
There's a lot.
Velas. And I know him personally and everything like that, but I'm telling you, he's for what he does. Like I put him in the same category as. Actually, no, I'm gonna put him in one category. Velas, Boy Wonder, and
I don't know Boy Wonder.
No, Boy Wonder does all the Drake shit.
Oh, okay.
Like when you think about when you think about that, like I'm gonna put him in that category too. You know what I'm saying? Boy Wonder. And then there's Boy Wonder, and then there's Vinyls. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting them in one category. You know what I'm saying? Because like they have that sound. You know what I'm saying? That like that Drake sound and whatnot.
Got you. I'm gonna check. They did the majority of production for him. Or?
Well, Vinyls and Boy Wonder does majority of production for him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Velas is kind of like involved too in that field a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, good guy.
So I put them all in the same category and stuff like that because they're just fucking wonderful. Boy Wonder.
I've always had trouble doing my top, but again, different genres. I definitely Pharrell is in there for me.
Pharrell is the best.
Timbaland is up there for me.
Can we even though Pharrell's included in that, the Neptunes?
Got to.
Him and Chad Hugo. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
like
100%.
when you think about like there's Pharrell's style of music, and then there's the Neptune sound. You know what I'm saying? We put them in that category too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Neptunes, and I'm trying to think of like one more.
You don't like Timbaland?
Yes and no.
Timbaland got.
I'm more of a Pharrell fan.
Got you.
You know, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Timbaland. I think Timbaland's fucking excellent.
Fucking talented, bro.
But he's not like my idol.
Got
you know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Like he's not somebody. I'm not saying I don't look up to him because I do. But like
What about Jay Dilla?
Jay Dilla's fire.
Yeah, Jay Dilla.
I mean, we could do
iconic. He is iconic, like '90s boom bap. Because he has his own, even to this day. Rest in peace to Jay Dilla, but he got his own following, his own movement.
Yeah.
He got people that to this day, you see him, they swear by him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Legions.
Oh, and then last but not least, Mike Dean.
Mike Dean. What? The name sounds familiar, but I don't know the
When
word.
you talk about Kanye, you talk about Kid Cudi, you talk about even like the recent stuff that like Pop Smoke did and stuff like
Kid
that. You know what I'm
Cudi.
saying?
What happened
like,
to Kid Cudi, man?
Kid Cudi's still around, bro. He just
What's
had a
going
song
on
with
with
Eminem
this
come out.
I gotta check for that. Kid
Yeah.
Cudi was like, he was
Listen,
ahead of his
Mike-
time, bro.
I look up to Mike Dean because Mike Dean is like me. He's a producer, engineer at the end of the day. He produces, he engineers, he's a multi-instrumentalist,
Right.
mixes, masters. Like you talk about Travis Scott, Tupac, Scarface, 2 Chainz, Jay-Z, Designer,
Damn.
Drake, The Weeknd. Like he's worked with literally everyone. You know what I'm saying? He's up there. He's like 55 years old, you know what I'm saying? But he's been in the industry since the 80s. But he's still working with these new artists and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But like each artist he has a different role in. Like he'll either be producing, co-producing, or just simply mixing and mastering. Like when you talk about like the Travis sound, that comes from Mike Dean. Like that Travis sound comes from Mike Dean. Or like
I gotta look that
Don
up.
to Oliver's or like Kanye West. That's Mike Dean right there. You know what I'm saying? Doing his magic, you know.
So that's a good jumping into
No, Mike Dean really is
your craft.
Yeah.
Like when you really think about it, and you're mentioning some of these guys that I wasn't aware of, but your craft is even more of the reason why I say how we started this conversation, that engineering and producing is an art form in the sense of, bro, everyone has their own signature, their own flair, their own style. Even on the engineering end, there are some synonymous engineers who they just got their own way of.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but Kid Cudi did come out with a new album recently. It's called Man on the Moon, The Chosen 3. Came out December 11th. Trippie Red's on it. You have
It came out all those months ago. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, it came out Pop Smoke. He has a song with Pop Smoke and Skepta. Like it's pretty dope. I heard that song actually.
I gotta check that because that guy he was always fire. But so let's before we wrap it up. So what are some of the new projects we're gonna be working on? New artists we're working on, new things, new content. What we got blasting off, man?
I'll tell you it like this, right? So the year's pretty much just getting started. So whatever comes this year is what comes. There's really no set things, you know. Just keep a lookout on my page. Follow me on Instagram. Follow Frankie Rugs. Also follow the studio, Mixerhead Studios. If you want to, just anybody that comes in and out of the studio, whether I produce for them, whether I record for them, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm always reposting anything I do, you know what I'm saying, coming in and out of the studio. So make sure you follow those pages.
Absolutely.
Make sure you follow TikTok, my TikTok, Frankie Rugs as well, or Rugs on the Track. If you want to purchase beats, I also have my beats online. Rugs on the Track as well on BeatStars and stuff like that.
Dope.
I plan on doing a YouTube show this year. I plan on doing that YouTube show I told you about. I'm keeping it under wraps. I have a concept, but I'd rather just keep it private.
Nah, right now you're on fire. You're grinding right now. So it's good.
Right now, TikTok is what I'm focused on right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep posting on TikTok. The Annoying Rapper series is just like
hilarious.
Right now, it's really doing good with numbers and stuff like that, and it's probably gonna continue to grow. So
it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Go check that out if you haven't. If you're not big on TikTok, stop playing yourself. Jump on.
No, listen. If you're an artist right now in the game, whether you're old school artist, new school artist, get your ass on TikTok, or at least get your songs distributed through TikTok, because that's the way you're gonna blow up nowadays. You know, people want content now.
Yeah.
And like when your music is playing on TikTok constantly, people are using the music in the background, they're gonna want to add to their playlist on Spotify or Apple Music.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people are blowing up.
It's
even that song, it's getting tricky. Like that shit's going crazy on TikTok right now, and it's doing big. It's doing numbers right now. Like a song that you have back in the day, you could, you know what I'm saying, it could even get big now too. So just fucking get it going.
Funny like that, right? How all songs get like reintroduced to the public, and they're like, "Wow, what is this?" I'm like, "That's an old song, my friend."
Yeah.
So once again, man, it's the one and only Tom Brody.
Chicka, yeah.
I'm here with the original engineer, producer. Better check him out, man. Mixerhead, he's there. Rugs, thank you for coming, my brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Cheers to the real.
Cheers to the real. Let me get my last salute. But man, check him out. If you want some studio time, engineering, mixing, anything you want to do, you want to collaborate, build with him, this is what it is. Thank you for tuning in. This is the one and only Cheers to the Real podcast. I am Mr. Tom Brody. Yes, sir.
Cheers to the real. Good vibes only. Putting in work and recipes to all the homies. Yeah, money was the motive. Hood couldn't hold me. 100K made man. Suckers looking phony. Yeah, cheers to the real. Good vibes only. Putting in work and recipes to all